Assalamualaikum and good night everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Today we're gonna talk about a topic, the act of speaking clearly. You know, Abdang, I was listening to a recording of myself presenting a few weeks ago, and it hit me like a ton of brick. I sound like a podcast play at 1.5 at speed. I completely lost my clarity just because I was rushing.
Oh, I think we all been there. It's the classic adrenaline rush. Where we get nervous or excited, our brain speeds up, and our mouth just try to keep pace. But clarity isn't about how fast you can get there. You can get the words out. It's about giving your listener time to process them.
Exactly. And that's where the power of the pause comes in. I used to think pausing meant I forgot my train of thought, but now I realize a well-timed pause actually makes you sound incredibly confident. It gives weight to your last point.
It really does. Think of it like punctuation in a sentence. If you write a paragraph without periods or commas, it's unreadable. Speaking, speaking without pauses is exactly the same. It's just a massive wall of a sound. A good rule of thumb is to pause right after you share a key piece of information, or right before a major transition.
Right. Like letting the words breathe for a second. But how do you actually force yourself to slow down when your heart is pounding?
One practical trick is to focus on your breathing. Deep, diaphragmatic breathing from your belly instead of your chest. When you take shallow chest breaths, you run out of air quickly, which forces you to speak in short, rushes bursts.
That makes total sense. So, tip number one for speaking clearly isn't even about how you enunciate. It's about controlling your pace and mastering the pause.
Basically, a lot of people mumble because they are barely move their lips, teeth, and tongue when they talk. They keep their mouth semi-closed. To speak clearly, you physically have to open your mouth wider than you think you need to.
I read about a great exercise for this, the pen technique. You hold a pen or pencil between your teeth and try to speak clearly for a minute or two. Because your jaw is locked, your tongue and lips have to work twice as hard to form the sounds. When you take the pen out, your speech suddenly feels incredibly sharp and crisp.
It sounds silly, but it works. Another huge culprit is dropping the endings of words. In casual speech, we tend to slide past consonants. We say going instead of going, or just instead just.
Oh, guilty as charged, especially with T and D sounds at the end of words.
Yes, those hard consonants are the anchors of clarity. If you cleanly hit the T at the end of that, or D at the end of sound, your intelligibility skyrockets even if there's background noise.
Okay, so we've got pacing and we've got physical enunciation. But what about the structure of what we are saying? You can enunciate perfectly, but if your thoughts are muddled, you still won't be clear.
Spot on. Structural clarity is all about cutting out the verbal static. Specifically, filter your words like like, so, and you know.
Those are so deeply ingrained in our vocabulary. Why do we say them so much?
Usually, it's a vocal crutch. Our brain is looking for the next word. And because we are afraid of silence, we fill that space with noise. We use to tell the listener, hey, don't interrupt me. I'm still thinking.
So, going back to our first segment, the antidote to filler words is actually just embracing the silence instead of saying, just keep your mouth closed until the next word is ready.
Exactly. Silence sounds professional. Sound hesitant. Another structure tip is to use simple, direct sentences. Avoid winding complex sentences that use 10 words when 3 would do.
Right. Keep it simple. It's a glitch for a reason. If you're explaining a complex idea, break it into small bite-sized pieces. First this, then that, therefore this.
To round this all out, clarity is ultimately determined by the listener, not the speaker. You have to speak at a volume and pitch that suits your environment.
True. If you're trailing off at the end of your sentences, what people call vocal fry, or just dropping your volume, the listener misses half the message. You have to project your voice from your core so it carries evenly.
And don't forget to eyes contact and body language. If you look down at your notes or the floor, you are basically directing your sound wave away from your audience. So looking up projects your voice straight up to them.
That is so
So
true.
if you
Now, are you understand what we already talk about?
yes, it's now I very understand with you, Shabil.
So I already make a note. So the first tip to speak clearly is the fast talker trap and the power of pauses. Two, the physical mechanics, enunciation and lazy jaws. Three, structural clarity, ditching the filler words. And audience awareness and actionable practice. You think this is already good, or we must add something?
For me, I think we need to must add something. Are you good with this, Shabil?
I think we should to add more, so our speaking will be more good in the future. Let's
Okay.
go to the next point.
Let's go, Shabil.
So, here is a tricky one, Abdan. Slang and regional accent. We all have a unique way of speaking based on where we grew up, but how does that play into clarity?
It's all about audience awareness. Your local slang might make perfect sense to your close friends, but in a professional setting or with the international audience, it acts as a barrier. It's a barrier. Speaking clearly means code switching. tuning down regional idioms, and choosing globally understood vocabulary.
Alright. It's not about losing your identity, it's about being hospitable to the listener. If they are busy trying to decode a slang word you used 30 seconds ago, they aren't listening to what you are saying right now.
We can give people all the technical tips in the word, Shabil, but if their heart is racing at 150 beats per minute because of anxiety, all those tips fly out the window.
So true. Physical tension ruins clarity. When you're anxious, your throat tightens up, your voice cracks, and you revert right back to fast talking. To counter this, you have to ground yourself before you speak.
I find doing a few physical neck rolls and stretching my jaw before a big talk help release that tension. If your body is relaxed, your vocal cords relax, and a relaxed voice is naturally deeper, clearer, and easier to listen to.
So, how do we actually build this muscle daily? We can't just expect to step onto a stage or an interview and suddenly be a master communicator.
It takes deliberate practice. One micro drill is reading a single paragraph of a book out loud every morning. But exaggerating single words, moving your mouth to the absolute extreme. Another is recording a 1 minute voice note about your day, listening back to it, and counting how many filter words you used.
That awareness is everything. Once you start noticing your own habits on tape, you naturally start correcting them in real time conversation.
To round this all out, clarity is ultimately determined by the listener.
Alright, I think we should talk more. Do you write notes about what we are talking about lately?
Yes, Bill, absolutely. I write a note of this topic. The topic is the impact of accent, the dialect and slang, psychological clarity, managing public speaking. The next topic is micro practice, daily drill for long-term clarity. That's all. Should we add more about this topic? How about you, Shabil?
I think we should add a little bit more, like 2 or 3 more tips, so our speaking will be more clearer and clearer, so we can talk English good in the future. Are you agree?
Yes, I absolutely agree with you, Shabil. So let's go think about it and let's speed it out. Let's go.
Let's go. Alright, let's move on. Next tips is a word choice and jargon inflation. I want you to listen to my conversation I've done. Alright. Another massive trap that ruins clarity is what I call jargon inflation. Using overly complex corporate or technical language just to sound smart. The classic synergize our paradigm shifts to maximize optimization. It sounds fancy, but it actually conveys zero real meaning. True mastery of a topic means you can explain it in simple, plain language. If you can explain a difficult concept to a 10 years old and they understand it, then your speaking clarity is elite. Ditch the heavy jargon unless you are absolutely certain everyone in the room shares that exact technical background.
Shabil, have you ever noticed how some people end every single sentence on a high note, like they are asking a question, even when they are stating a plain fact?
Oh, absolutely. It's called up talking. It sounds like, my name is Shabil and I'm here to give a talk today. It drives me crazy because it completely undermines how sure they sound.
Exactly. When you up talk, your brain transmits a subconscious signal of doubt to listener. To speak clearly, your voice need to land firmly on a downward note at the end of a statement. A flat or downward inflection sound authoritative and certain.
Let's look at how we physically groups our words. A big mistake people make when trying to sound articulate is just talking in one giant, unbroken sentence that loops around three different thoughts.
Yes, that were chunking saved the day. Instead of a massive stream of words, you purposefully break your speech down into small phrase or chunk of 4 to 6 words, followed by a micro pause.
Right. So instead of saying we need to look at the budget today because things are getting tight and the manager wants to see the reports by Friday afternoon, you chunk it. We need to look at the budget today because things are getting tight. That's all from us and thank you for listening. Thank you, Abdan.
Shabil. Assalamu alaikum.